Welcome to Farming Aid.
When people think about cattle farming today, Angus often steals the spotlight. It's become the go-to name for quality beef and modern ranching. But what if I told you the future of farming might not rest only on Angus, but on cattle breeds with roots stretching back thousands of years? Around the world, ancient breeds have survived harsh climates, limited resources, and countless challenges, yet they're still here, proving their value in ways modern breeds sometimes can't. In this video, we're going beyond Angus to explore 5 ancient cattle breeds, each with unique strengths, rich histories, and surprising potential to shape tomorrow's farms. Each of these breeds carries a story deeply rooted in human history. They've thrived under conditions where many modern breeds would struggle, and now they are finding relevance again in today's world of farming. By looking closely at them, we can see how tomorrow's farms might look very different, not because we abandon modern breeds, but because we rediscover the strengths of the old ones. The first ancient breed worth highlighting is the Watusi, also known as the Ankole Watusi, a breed native to East Africa. If you've ever seen them, you'll never forget their enormous, sweeping horns, some of the largest in the cattle world, capable of spanning over 8 feet from tip to tip. But these horns aren't just for show. They serve a biological purpose, functioning like radiators that help regulate body temperature in the blistering African heat. The Watusi's history is tightly tied to African pastoralist cultures, especially the Tutsi people of Rwanda and Burundi. For centuries, these cattle weren't just livestock, they were a symbol of wealth, status, and cultural pride. Families would pass them down through generations, not for mass meat production, but as living heritage. The cattle provided milk, blood, and hides, and were rarely slaughtered except for special rituals. Their ability to survive on sparse forage, withstand extreme drought, and resist certain tropical diseases makes them particularly valuable today as climate change reshapes agriculture. Modern farmers are starting to notice. Watusi cattle have been introduced to ranches in the United States, South America, and parts of Europe. While they aren't raised in massive feedlots like Angus, they thrive in grass-fed, low-input systems. For farmers who want hardy cattle that can survive in tough conditions without expensive veterinary care or feed, the Watusi presents a powerful option. Beyond that, consumers are increasingly drawn to their lean beef, which tends to have a slightly different texture compared to conventional breeds. The Watusi is a reminder that resilience, not just productivity, may define the cattle of tomorrow. From Africa, we move to Italy, home of the Chianina, one of the oldest and largest cattle breeds in the world. Tracing its history back over 2,000 years, the Chianina was already known during the Roman Empire, where it was celebrated in sculptures, feasts, and sacrifices. Towering in size, with bulls weighing up to 3,500 pounds, the Chianina has been a giant among cattle for millennia. Their gleaming white coats and muscular frames make them striking animals, instantly recognizable in the Italian countryside. Historically, the Chianina wasn't just a beef breed. These cattle were used as draft animals, pulling carts and plows through Italy's farmlands. Their massive strength and endurance were unmatched, making them vital to agricultural life before machines replaced oxen. But in modern times, their beef has taken center stage. The world-famous bistecca alla fiorentina, a Tuscan delicacy, is traditionally prepared with Chianina beef. The meat is leaner than Angus but has a distinctive flavor and texture that gourmets appreciate. In today's cattle industry, Chianina genetics are being rediscovered, especially for crossbreeding. Farmers have realized that introducing Chianina bloodlines into modern breeds produces animals with larger frames, faster growth, and adaptability to grass-based systems. With global beef demand rising, yet pressure mounting for sustainability, the Chianina offers a balance: animals that grow efficiently without requiring heavy feedlot operations. It's an ancient solution meeting a modern problem, and it shows that size and history can still matter in tomorrow's farms. Travel north to the Scottish Highlands, and you'll find one of the most iconic ancient breeds, the Highland Cattle. With their long shaggy coats, sweeping horns, and calm temperament, Highland cattle are almost romantic symbols of pastoral life. But their beauty hides their toughness. These cattle were bred to survive some of the harshest conditions in Europe: cold winds, poor forage, rocky terrain, and long winters. Where other cattle might starve or freeze, Highland cattle keep thriving. Their coat is perhaps their greatest asset. The double layer of hair, with a dense undercoat and long outer layer, insulates them against cold while shedding rain effectively. This adaptation means they don't require the heavy shelter or intensive care that other breeds might need in rough climates. Their ability to forage on scrubby plants, shrubs, and even coarse grasses makes them ideal for marginal lands that aren't suitable for crops. From a consumer perspective, Highland beef has carved out a niche market. It is naturally lean, flavorful, and lower in cholesterol compared to many modern breeds. This appeals to health-conscious buyers who want meat that's both tasty and nutritious. For farmers, Highland cattle offer low-maintenance farming. They calve easily, resist many diseases, and live long lives, traits that reduce costs and labor. As more farmers look toward sustainable and regenerative practices, Highland cattle are finding their place again. They can graze in mixed landscapes, improve soil health, and fit neatly into small-scale operations that focus on premium beef. In an age where consumers want to know their beef comes from ethical, sustainable sources, Highland cattle offer a story as rich as their flavor. Across the globe in South Asia, another ancient breed has shaped not only farming but also entire cultures: the Brahman. Originating from Indian zebu cattle, Brahmans are famous for their distinctive humped shoulders, drooping ears, and loose skin. But what makes them truly remarkable is their resilience in tropical and subtropical climates. Where heat, humidity, and parasites destroy other breeds, Brahmans thrive. The Brahman's secret lies in its unique biology. Their sweat glands are more developed than those of European breeds, allowing them to dissipate heat efficiently. Their thick skin and oily secretions provide natural resistance to ticks, flies, and other pests. These traits evolved over centuries of survival in South Asia's challenging environment. Culturally, Brahman cattle hold a sacred place in Hindu tradition, symbolizing strength, spirituality, and sustainability. In modern agriculture, Brahman cattle have spread far beyond India. They are the foundation of many composite breeds, such as the Brangus, Brahman x Angus, and the Braford, Brahman x Hereford, which combine their toughness with the meat quality of European breeds. In regions like Brazil, Australia, and the southern United States, Brahmans have revolutionized cattle ranching. They allow beef production in places where other breeds simply could not survive. As climate change brings hotter summers and more unpredictable weather, the Brahman is increasingly valuable. Farmers are already turning to Brahman genetics to prepare their herds for the future. While their beef may be slightly less marbled than Angus, crossbreeding has shown that meat quality can be balanced with resilience. Brahmans stand as proof that the challenges of tomorrow may already have solutions in the cattle of yesterday. Finally, let's return to Africa, where the Ankole cattle, often confused with or closely related to Watusi, have captivated farmers and researchers alike. Ankole cattle are sometimes called the cattle of kings because of their majestic appearance. Like the Watusi, their horns are massive and dramatic, but their legacy goes even deeper in certain regions of Uganda and Rwanda, where they are considered cultural treasures. For centuries, Ankole cattle have been central to social and economic life. They were used as dowry in marriages, symbols of wealth, and sources of sustenance in milk and blood. Their ability to survive long dry seasons with little forage makes them perfectly adapted to Africa's shifting climates. Yet, for a long time, Ankole cattle were considered less productive than European imports. Their milk yields were lower, and their meat was leaner, so governments pushed crossbreeding with exotic breeds. But in recent years, perceptions have shifted. Farmers and scientists are realizing that the very traits that once seemed like weaknesses, lean meat, slow growth, modest milk, are strengths in a world where resilience matters more than sheer output. Ankole cattle need less input, survive longer, and resist local diseases far better than imported breeds. As global conversations about food security grow louder, Ankole genetics are being preserved and celebrated again. Ugandan initiatives are now promoting Ankole beef as a premium product, marketed for its distinct taste and heritage value. International chefs and consumers are taking notice, turning what was once seen as a traditional breed into a modern asset. The Ankole story is a lesson in revaluing what we already have, instead of chasing only new solutions. So, why do these ancient breeds matter in an age of technology, lab-grown meat, and genetic engineering? The answer is simple: diversity and resilience. Modern agriculture has often relied too heavily on a few select breeds, like Angus, Hereford, or Holstein. While these breeds are productive, they are also vulnerable. Uniformity makes farming efficient, but it also creates risks. Disease outbreaks, climate shifts, or market changes can devastate herds that lack genetic variety. Ancient breeds like Watusi, Chianina, Highland, Brahman, and Ankole provide something different. They bring traits that were honed over thousands of years: heat tolerance, disease resistance, ability to survive on poor forage, and longevity. These are traits that cannot be engineered overnight. They are the result of human culture interacting with nature across centuries. By bringing them into modern farming systems, whether through direct raising, crossbreeding, or conservation, we are building insurance for the future. Moreover, consumer preferences are changing. People want beef that tells a story, beef that connects them to tradition, culture, and sustainability. Eating Highland beef isn't just about flavor, it's about experiencing a taste of the rugged Scottish Highlands. Trying Chianina steak is about connecting to a Roman legacy. Supporting Ankole or Watusi is about honoring Africa's agricultural heritage. In an age of globalized markets, storytelling matters, and these breeds carry some of the richest stories around. As we've seen, the future of cattle farming won't be defined by Angus alone. Ancient breeds like the Watusi, Chianina, Highland, Brahman, and Ankole carry with them resilience, adaptability, and centuries of human history. They've endured tough environments, offered cultural value, and are now providing modern solutions to challenges like climate change and sustainable farming. These cattle remind us that progress doesn't always mean creating something new, it often means rediscovering the wisdom already built into nature. If farmers and ranchers look beyond the familiar and embrace the diversity of these time-tested breeds, the farms of tomorrow could be stronger, more sustainable, and more connected to our shared past. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below with the cattle breed you found most fascinating.